We're not muted because it's going over the speaker right now. It was what Chris or Sergeant already said. Or the YouTube one?
Yeah, hold on a second.
We're not muted.
Yeah. We're delayed.
It'll be rougher if we're on the delay.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right, I call this meeting to order at 7:31. So please rise and pledge allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Trustee Hawk,
Here.
trustee Canali,
Here.
trustee Thomas, here, trustee Diatley,
Here.
trustee Schatzberger, trustee McGuire. We have one, thank you. Sorry, this isn't- I'm so sorry, folks. One second. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for your attendance. Can I get a motion from the, excuse me. Discussion and motion to approve regular board meeting minutes from April 20th, 2026.
So moved, Diatley.
In discussion. Moved by Diatley,
Second.
seconded by Canali. Comments, questions, edits, discussion?
Yes, I would like the building and zoning enforcement report to, it says that met with Aaron Nash on Friday. I did not meet with Aaron Nash, president of BODID, so I want that to be fixed and accordingly.
On the same topic, building and zoning, maybe I just need clarification, but what, I don't see this reference to administrative ban regarding the group home. What is the group home?
Something that you talked about. Never got, nobody ever got back to me for that.
Oh, it was just about that email for that. So it wasn't the discussion about the group home. It was just about the meeting between you, Eugene, and me needing to discuss it.
Yes, because it was.
So it wasn't
never-
actually discussed.
Okay, I don't know anything about a group home, but okay.
Right, and nobody ever got back to me about it, so.
Also in that paragraph, trustee Kennelly asked if Damo was aware of the ordinance extension. I don't know of any extension. I was only asking if they knew about their expiration. So.
Oh, the
extension, that's a different topic, so.
To the end of May?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we extended the licensing program to the end of May, so maybe, is that what you meant by there? Correct. Oh, so, and you're also saying that the expiration date is the end of May?
Correct.
Okay, so change extension to expiration? Oh, we extended it, so that's fine.
But I was asking about is the expiration understood? That it expires and that they would be
Yeah,
no longer licensed after the end of May.
Okay.
Correct.
Can we change it to expired?
And then one last thing. This is under old business. Trustee Kennelly added that the IMRF seems feasible since long-term employees are no longer here. I think that was just taken out of context. I was just saying, I was confirming that other comments were made about after some longer-term employees have moved on, then the IMRF might be more affordable.
Right.
But I was not confirming that to be my position about it being affordable. The way that I read that, you would think that I was saying, hey, that's a great idea. It's very affordable.
So do you want me to remove that line?
Whatever you feel you need to do, but that wasn't my comment.
Okay.
Okay. Um. And then, I'm sorry, but then the last thing on new business was Nelly, would like to see the agenda approved by the board and also discussion about public comment. And it's not on the agenda. So I don't know if it just was omitted for this week, but that's still something I mentioned a few times and we still haven't made too much progress.
Was that amended in the minutes or you're just bringing that up again?
I'm bringing it up again.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion or edits for the regular board meeting minutes from 4/20/2026? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes pass with the edits. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from May 4th, 2026 meeting?
So moved, Diatley.
Second,
Moved by Diatley, seconded by Thomas. Comments, questions, edits?
I just have a question. Since there was no quorum, why was more discussion continued on? Shouldn't the meeting have ended right there? Because I was online waiting to get in. And I couldn't get in, and I know there were other people, because they were texting me and I had to tell them, I can't get in either. And then when I asked a question as a resident, because I knew I was told I couldn't speak because I was a trustee and there was no quorum. So I just want clarification why there was more, why there's minutes and there was other discussions when there was no quorum and I'm just curious.
There wasn't any discussion. It was more a matter, I checked in with Attorney Schuster prior to the meeting to see what could or should be discussed. Because we're concerned about that we wouldn't have the motion for the warrants. And it was just, if there's anything timely before our next meeting, I could report it, but not take in further discussion. Like, there was no,
There was no action.
yeah, no action.
Right, but there
But
was like a
if there
letter.
was some, well, I didn't know that you're saying the YouTube got cut off.
Yeah, we didn't have John there that night. And I was trying to, we're short staffed all around the board
Yeah,
and
And their letter for the residents was read, and then we did not get it until right before it was mailed out, so. And I know there was no quorum and I couldn't ask any questions, but I don't think that anything should have been going on village business wise, unless I'm wrong, since there was no quorum and there really should not have been a meeting. So I'm just trying to understand.
Some announcements is what it came down to, and then there was a report about the newsletter, but there was no action taken on anything.
Okay, so as long as there was no action, but that letter was
Because-
kind of actionable because it was going in the mail, so that's why I'm just asking.
It wasn't here for approval by the board. It was just announced that it was out. But I didn't realize that the YouTube was cut off. If for any discussion that occurred, that should have remained.
it was,
It just never got
Yeah.
initiated.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, well.
Yeah, it just never got initiated.
I wouldn't know how to do it, so.
No.
yeah,
Would have been better to keep that on for whatever was announced.
we thought it was on.
Mhm.
Any further comments, questions, or edits for the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor,
Aye.
all opposed? Motion passes. President report. I covered the letter at the last meeting, and trustee Thomas, the reason we did that was we weren't sure from Wendy, the water clerk. Yeah, whether it'd be able to go into the water bill. And in speaking with Eugene and with Mark that day, we figured it would be in the best interest to read it aloud at the meeting. I came in trying to get it set up because we knew John Florence would be out. We were down trustees and then there was an emergency just beforehand, which is why we started late at 7:33 because I was over in the police department. So we have the recording of the meeting. Trustee Reed, can we get a transcript or something of this so that it can be sent out to the trustees?
No, I listened to it.
Oh, you could hear it.
I couldn't hear the letter, but I was going to go back and listen to the meeting online.
Yeah.
But I was just concerned because there was no quorum, so I was just under the understanding when we haven't had a quorum before, that nothing, that's the end of the meeting.
Right.
And no discussions are had. And not that there was anything to vote on or any, but no, there's nothing.
Okay.
So that's why I was just trying to get clarification.
All right, thank you. So I did read that water letter aloud, and we did get that sent out with the water bill on that Friday. I understand there's been lots of feedback from residents. I would like to go ahead and read a couple of the emails that were sent. I will not disclose the names, but this, I'm sure, will not be the first email you receive on this outrageous increase in our water bill, with no warning, no input from the citizens, no express end in sight to the increase. Just a letter stuck in with our water bill. Why no notice 6 months ago, 3 months ago, a month ago? It didn't just happen overnight. Was it easier to say nothing? Why not get a bond and let those who need the work pay for it? This represents a 100% increase in our monthly water bill that literally has dropped out of the sky. Second, the first notification comes in our water bill with no opportunity to discuss this. Third, while we all live in the village, why is our water bill increasing for work on the east side? Fourth, this doesn't even take into consideration the cost for gas, food, and basically anything a family has to purchase. Fifth, I will be at the meeting on the 18th, and I think you can depend on this being your one and only term. I also received a letter in favor of the water bill. Oops. I'm writing, hello, Village of Sleepy Hollow. I'm writing to provide resident feedback regarding the notice for water infrastructure fee increase. I believe the $50 infrastructure fee increase is more than fair given the city's long-term plan for necessary water main replacement projects. We did have one error. An individual who was on a well did get a bill. Unfortunately, they notified us, we corrected it. So if you were on a well, you should not have a $50 fee. We do have an FAQ that has been, I've edited it and it's going to the relevant departments, so we can get that out hopefully by Monday of next week, which will answer some more questions along this to talk about the various approaches we took in figuring out what the best way was for funding. We have been discussing this at great length this year. Trustee Hoff and the Finance Committee have been working on it and then providing updates at our village board meetings as well as our town hall meetings. One of the next steps that we're taking, as you saw on the agenda tonight, under section 14E under new business, is a motion to recommend that residents who qualify for the Kane County Senior Citizen Property Assessment Freeze simply have to show that they're qualified here at the Village Hall, and then there would be a 50% discount on that $50 fee. We couldn't get that out to the residents or speak to it until the board had a chance to discuss it and approve it. But that is something that was brought up in the Finance Committee. I brought it up. Eugene had brought up this idea. And then we also on that FAQ will have, there's about 6 other resources for financial assistance on this. So we are working on that. There's been positive support. There's been very angry, hurt and surprise, or not hurt, but anger and surprise. And I'm sorry for that. I think we could have done better of getting the message out and getting all of our stuff together before the bill started going in. So my apologies on that. We also, just gonna go with all this. We also did receive a special use permit application and variance application and a text amendment application from from Stormore 365, which is, we know is Tim and Kristen James with 1601 West Main. I addressed the Planning and Zoning Committee last week, just to give them an update, not one update on 1601, but also to go over special use permit applications and how the public hearing would go. Sorry, we're also going to be getting a building official or discussing that this evening. So we're hoping a lot of these things will coincide with some guidance. We also have Attorney Schuster who will be overseeing the public hearing and the special use permit application process. Tonight we'll be reviewing the Legend newsletter for print and for approval for printing and postage. And just keep your eyes open for it in the mailbox. It has all the 4th of July events and service club updates. And also we have Memorial Day coming up this weekend. So I'm sorry, this weekend, next weekend, yeah. I'm sure the chief will remind us all to be safe on the road, but I would like to say, as I make my daily or bi-daily drives around the community, I love seeing everybody out, but I'm gonna remind us, and I think somebody put it on Facebook as well, please walk against traffic. It makes a difference being able to make eye contact with the person who's driving, especially if you have headphones on or you're looking at your screen. And keep an eye on the kids. I know we're waiting on some more state legislation that should be going through in the next month or two, hopefully, about e-bikes and e-scooters. But they are zipping around, and though we do have a full staffed force, they can't be everywhere. So please just help remind your neighbors and kids to be careful while summer's starting to come around the corner. And I meant to lead with, this is Public Works Appreciation Week, and I have missed all the other appreciation weeks prior to this. So I want to say a special thanks to Director Killinger and the guys, and especially there was notice on Facebook about the entrance signs that one disappeared. And if you notice, a lot of them have been detailed and repainted, and that's by our very own Public Works Department. And they save us about $5,000 a sign by doing it themselves. So they continue to go above and beyond for us. Thank you very much. Lastly, I did go to a meeting last week. It was a roundtable with Metro West and CMAP. You've probably heard it a few times now. Metro West is a group of 38 municipalities that we can group together so we can have a stronger voice down in Springfield. Although we're struggling with that with some of the stuff that's going on. So this, and then CMAP is the Chicago Metropolitan Area Planning and Agency for Planning. And they did a state of the region. This is our region, it's Kane and DuPage. I do have a few physical copies up here of trustees. I'll leave them in the trustee conference room for you. But also there's a link that I can send you to if you prefer a PDF or online version. It basically summed up kind of what CMAP or what the region had been doing and our changes. A lot of our community in this area is aging gracefully and out-aging a lot of us, and it's becoming, yes, so the average age is growing older. But there's a lot of movement still depending on incomes and fixed income, or I'm sorry, not fixed incomes, moving for better jobs, staying around. Sorry, I have that note right there. I'll just sum it up with, they covered, the main focuses were transportation, jobs and economy, the people, the housing, cost of living, which is relevant to the water infrastructure, and then the natural resources around them, and finding the balance and seeing where people were moving to, why they were moving, did they have access to transportation, how do you have your transportation between your various communities, such as like the e-bikes, e-scooter rules, they differ between West Dundee, East Dundee, Sleepy Hollow, and trying to see where collective efforts can be beneficial. It's hard for a lot of municipalities and governments to give up any kind of control because we have so little. When you do try to get collective works between communities, it takes a lot of trust. But one thing we learned recently is we all commented at this past meeting, the water infrastructure. Everybody, as Trustee Huff, everybody's been saying, everybody's being hit with it. And it's been going on now for about 15 years. The state funding for it is just kind of catching up and helping, but some people have already done a lot of the work for their lead service lines. Thank you. We do know that ours are all copper, so we don't have that issue, but that also disqualifies us from a lot of funding. And a lot of us were lamenting it probably would have been better had there been a regional directive or regional planning so that as we're all going through this water main infrastructure, we could have gone at it from a collective as opposed to putting it straight onto the taxpayers and raising their rates, which is basically happening in a lot of our neighboring communities. So it was enlightening. I made a lot of great contacts there where I'm hoping to get more information to help us. And please, if you get a chance, check out CMAP and their state of the region. They actually also have a snapshot specifically of Sleepy Hollow. You can see what the trends have been for the past 25, 50 years and see how we've grown, how we've changed demographic wise, et cetera. That covers it for the president's report. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, thank you. And also I have the civility pledge, which I'm sorry I did not lead with that. Trustee Kamali, please.
Sure, the civility pledge, in the interest of civility, I pledge to promote civility by listening, being respectful of others, acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community, and understanding that we each may have different ideas for achieving that objective.
President Paul,
Yes, I give me 1 second, sorry. Okay.
if I wanted to amend the agenda to add some items for discussion under new business, should I do that now or wait?
Attorney Schuster.
Either time.
So I would like to amend the agenda to add a couple items under new business for discussion only. One is to what the status is to add a meter to the residents on well to measure their water usage for pools, or if there's another option. I know this was talked about before and a while ago, and so would like a status on that. And then also a discussion for status of what the mixed use changes from zoned residential to mixed use for mainly for the Burlow property, because they're getting pushback from their corporate headquarters for their signage. And the only signage they're able to use right now is so I want to add that. And
All right,
then
so update on that property and then status on the wastewater meter.
Mhm.
Okay. Just the two?
Yeah, the other thing I'll bring up during just
Okay. We need a motion to.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. Did you want to do it a second?
So you move,
I'm moving,
that's your
sorry.
motion.
Sorry, yeah.
Just so it's all-
Moved by Thomas,
Second.
seconded by Diatley. Comments, do we do count for amended minutes? Do we do comments for discussion for amendments?
There could be discussion, I'm sure.
Discussion? I wasn't sure if it's procedural. Trustee Hoff.
Courtney, I can add to the discussion for filling of the pools. I worked on that today. And I have
This, if this motion passes, then
We'll
we'll come up
discuss
and.
it. Give me agenda.
It's fine.
Is there any discussion about amending the agenda to add these two items? All right, hearing none. Roll call vote. Trustee Cannelli.
Aye.
Trustee Hoff.
Aye.
Trustee Diatley.
Aye.
Trustee Thomas.
I
All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Thank you. Yes. All right, clerk report, please. On the report. We do not have a building official yet. Attorney report.
No report.
Thank you. Do we still have Jeff on Zoom?
Yeah, can you hear
Thank you. Do you have an engineer report?
me? Just basically an update on the water main project.
Mhm.
Is Kyle and I are in the middle of discussing material wise as far as what type of water main, either HDP or C900, in regards to the best option. And that is it.
Thank you. And you had mentioned something about the permits.
Oh yeah, for thoroughbred. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, so we got basically they're finalizing their reviews. The Army Corps and the EPA had sent over letters in regards to fees, and then also the Cane Page Soil Water Conservation District also sent over requests for permit fees. So those are provide a letter to Courtney and Eugene in regards to that. So once that's done, they'll finalize out the review.
Thank you. Village administrator report.
Request a motion for the approval of the warrants for May 4th, the amount of $96,278.32.
So moved.
second,
Moved by Hoff, seconded by Thomas. Comments, questions, discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please. Trustee Diatley.
Aye.
Trustee Cannelli.
Aye.
Trustee Thomas.
I
Trustee Hoff.
Aye.
Oh, all in favor? No opposed, that motion passes.
Request approval of the warrants for today, May 18th, in the amount of $217,488.75.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Hoff, seconded by Thomas. Comments, questions, discussion? I'm sorry, we had the wrong dates on here. Yeah, so can we amend this agenda before we should have amended that. There's a typo on
First
the
of May 4, and you're.
It should have-
Could be 4 and 18.
It should have been May 18th.
May
instead of April 20th.
What was the one, oh, May 4 was the one.
The May was-
That's-
Yeah. So, yeah. May 4th was.
Right, so that should be correct.
Yeah.
So we just did the vote for May 4th, and now we're doing the vote for May 18th.
Yes.
Thank you. Now trustee Hoff and trustee Thomas, do you still have the motion in the second?
Yes.
Thank you. In the amount of $217, $217,488.75. Oh my goodness. Any comments, questions, discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please. Trustee Connelly,
Aye.
trustee Diatley,
Aye.
trustee Thomas,
Aye.
trustee Hall.
Aye.
All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Thank you. Can I get the, oh, sorry, keep going.
I was able to source a large format printer and scanner. So that we're able to now scan the big septic plans and stuff like that, so we can have an electronic file for for all our building files. This scanner's probably around $3,500 to $4,000, and I got it for under $700. So,
It's working.
and it's working. So, no. Facebook Marketplace.
Nice.
So,
Good job.
we'll be able to move all our, building files into an electronic format for easy user and stuff like that.
What do you get for fix?
It's already set up. And got the drivers, got it all working.
How is it looking at a big document on a little screen? You just gotta
Well, it's,
go left or right and,
yeah. Well, no, it shrinks it down.
oh, it does.
It shrinks it down onto your screen. I can,
Okay, yeah, I'll check it out.
that's all I got.
Thank you. So we have comments from the public. I have Michael and Mary Savarese.
Oh, yes.
Or Mary, yes.
I just wanted to thank everybody for volunteering their time here at Thinking about, first of all. And my comments were about the water surcharge, which I think, you know, it kind of hit us a little bit, but we see the benefit of that, of the development of water mains or the replacement of water mains. I think my question is, for how long will this surcharge be in place? And at the end of that time, if it's decided that that surcharge would stay in place, can the Village of Sleepy Hollow create some kind of an infrastructure fund that with funds that can be invested and grown, so that if we are, which inevitably we will be, if we are hit with other infrastructure issues in the town, since we don't have a broad tax base, industrial tax base, that would kind of help to defray the cost of future bills, future repairs. And so that's my first comment. The other thing is Surrey Lane in the Surrey Ridge development. The roads have, Surrey Lane in particular, has been deteriorating quite a bit. And we also need our fire hydrants painted. I think we're the only street in Surrey Ridge that doesn't have them painted. And I view that as a health and safety issue, especially in the winter, when it gets dark early. Firemen should be, they may have maps, I don't know where these things are. But I would feel better if our fire hydrants, and it would look better for the town if they were painted. And the other factor involved there is that we would like to repave, we have to repave our driveway. And before we tear up our driveway, I would like to know when the road is gonna be done, since it's gonna abut the road. And the drains, what is required? Building inspector, okay.
Even the culverts underneath?
Yeah, the culvert. Is some kind of a pipe required if you replace your driveway? Everybody's saying,
I can answer that, because yes, I had to do that.
okay, and at what cost is that?
Yes.
No, I'm just asking what cost, the number.
Let's keep it to public comments if you can continue, and then we will get a chance to address your questions and answer.
Okay. And how long, in the new infrastructure going in, the new mains, how long are they expected to last? That's it.
There's been a request that we respond at the meetings if we have the answer, or well, have the answer or set up time for people to get responses. We'll go through public comments in full, and then there's 6 of each thing though. We'll go through public comments in full and then set up responses. Sorry, we haven't planned this out yet, but yeah. Lynn and Hans Mang. Wasn't just Lynn?
Hello. My name is Lynn May, and my husband Hans and I have lived at 1142 Gale Lane for 28 years now. This is in regards to a discussion that's going to occur a little bit later on with Metronet and our septic fields. I have had the majority, I've had the only one-on-one discussions with the Metronet staff, which is why I'm speaking tonight instead of Hans. So a little bit of a backstory, starting on March 5th, 2 months ago, the Public Utility Locating Service, USIC, went around and was marking everybody's property with the flags and spray paint. And when they showed where they'd be installing the, boring through from one utility to another, it was straight across their septic line. And I had reached out, we both had some concerns about that, reached out to Trustee Thomas. And also discussed it, brought it up and had discussed it with President Bo. Trustee Thomas worked for about a couple of weeks to review this concern. Our septic field is not reflected on the plan survey, but it's very clear where it is located. And so President Bo came out on March 21st and then came back later in the day with Tim Gregory, who's the construction manager for Metronet. When, I discussed my concerns with Tim, he very happily said, no problem, we're gonna go along the side of the easement, down where the swale is and back up again on the other side, hooking up one utility box to the other. And the flags are even still back there. And so everybody was happy, and he said, this makes it easier for us, and as a matter of fact, we're gonna do it this way for all your neighbors as well. Problem solved. We decided this was a non-issue and our septic was safe. This past week, USIC was out again, marking all of the property. And the flags are straight across the septic line, the septic field again. So Hans reached out to Tim Gregory, his number is 734-502-9950 twice. We never got a response. And Hans reached out to President Bo as well. This past Friday, President Bo left a voicemail for Hans. Hans's mom was emergently admitted to the hospital. So, excuse me, we missed that voicemail. That was on Friday afternoon around 1:35 or 1:42. And then yesterday we received a email from President Bo saying that the plan that we thought was in place and was the non-issue actually had not been approved. And that there had been a discussion with the village attorney and some Metronet officials that now had to be approved. So, and she had encouraged us to come here tonight to discuss that. During the last storm, we had some damage to our trees and we had service come out today to fix the trees and trim some branches. Thank goodness I went out there because I went to check their progress and I found 2 employees digging at the utility box between myself and my neighbor. And when I went back there, I used a translator and found out that they had work orders. And I said, no, you can't come here. This is not supposed to be happening. And he went like that, like he's going straight across their septic line. So President Bo came out and told them to stop, which they did for now. They're. And so I'm here tonight asking, because in this email, there are options to not go through our septic line, which I think is just a huge concern. And, you know, we've maintained that for 28 years now, and I really, you know, when you want to submit plans to have a deck built, where your septic field is located has to be considered. I would think that there should be some consideration against having MetroNet boring across a person's septic, especially because we had a plan in place. So I'm asking the board for some simple common sense solutions to protect our property. Because we weren't even aware this was a problem. And I don't know where it stands now with the work order. I'm actually even afraid to leave the house to go visit my mother-in-law because, you know, they seem to think that they were able to come through and bore across their septic today when this was on the agenda to discuss tonight. Thank you.
Paul, we'll check.
Yes, it's me. I live at 836 Winmore Drive, and part of my questions they were asked in the previous person, but I wanted to find out as well, with this $50 surcharge for the sewer system here, how long will that be on, and will it ever increase as the project moves forward? And it would have been nice if we had been told about this before and actually had a chance to vote on it. The letter was new to me and my wife, and it was kind of a shock, but would have been nice to have had a heads up on that first and then had a chance to vote on it. So after just finding out this is what we're gonna pay. So I just wanted to find out, will that $50 increase? Will it stay the same? And once the project is done, will it be removed, or will it money be used for, as was said, for another account that could be used for interest bearing for other projects? Thank you.
Thank you. And Pete Vernon.
Oh,
All right, I want to talk about the application at 1601. Basically, I don't think it was totally appropriate to accept the application, at least in total. How do you apply for a special use when it does not exist? Process being, get the amendment, okay, now you can apply for it. Can it be done parallel? Yes, it can. But when I look at the history of this program, 1601, and the applicant's history on this, to me was just a totally wrong call. Given we had over a third of the household said, no, we don't want this. Given when he withdrew his application, there was an outstanding balance that took a year to resolve. That's it, you know, and then you say, okay, well, you know, I'm back again, I want this, whoa. We should be talking about some long dollars here, just in security for this before the conversation starts. Now, I did get a copy through FOIA of his application. I am doing my own analysis. I do have the experience, the training for that. as a master code professional. And I will make the results available to anyone who would like to see it. I'd like to point out right away, though, looking at this is a little more visible. What he presented to the board of trustees for 1601, it's modified now in his application. He eliminated the one building on the bottom. However, you still have this three-story structure, the structure connected to it through a breezeway, and the parking garage on the other edge. All right. Now, just a quick swag, this was over 140,000 square feet of construction. His last proposal last year was only 85,000, and it was a crash and burn. These are the kinds of things that, and again, we don't have a qualified building for. Yes, we're getting one. But that's gonna be what, 60 days after it gets through the approval stage, if I remember correctly. Again, these results I will be making available to anyone who wants to see it.
Thank you, Mr. Burnham. Excuse me, Michael Morrison.
I'll start by saying my dad was a trustee and one of the original trustees in Hanover Park. So I completely understand what a thankless, rough job this is. Calls in the middle of the night and that kind of stuff. So thank you for doing it. A number of the questions have been kind of answered, and I think primarily it seems like the letter was a little bit the heart. Of course, in front of the cart because there was no real understanding of what motivated all of those. But I'm going to skip through most of my questions. But I think it sounds like all residents are going to be are all residents required to pay for this work? And what about homeowners that still have a functioning well and septic? And what about the handful of homes that are connected to sewer because it's too shallow for septic systems? And how many homes total will be billed $50 until the work is completed in 2030 or beyond? All residents are going to benefit from this. So if all residents are not paying for this, it doesn't seem exactly equitable. And I had another question that kind of joins that. What year did we actually hook up to the Elgin water system? And I'm assuming when they did that, that's when they had to put in all, and I was assuming, that's when they had to put in all the water lines and everything. So the question is, that was actually done 65 years ago? I didn't think that was, I thought that was a much more recent thing based on the people that owned our house. And I think they had an assessment for connecting to the water. But again, my concern is that if something is going to qualify for everyone, then everyone should have a little skin in the game.
Thank you, Mr. Morrison. And I have former trustee Ed Harvey move back.
I've got a comment about the water increase. I commend the board for making the decision. And it shouldn't have caught anybody or any resident by surprise. It's been discussed. I've lived in the village a long time. It's been discussed with past boards. And prior to the decision, it was discussed at length, hours of discussion at village board meetings, which are online. We have asked residents in the past, a little indirectly, about how they want money spent in this village with the taxes that are collected. And for the most part, most of the time, almost all of the time, they've turned down small tax increases after it has been explained that a small tax increase today will keep us from where we are, from getting where we are today. Infrastructure in this village is crumbling as it is in other villages around us. We all hate to pay it. But it needed to be done, and I thank you for finally getting us to the position where we just gotta pay for it.
Thank you, Mr. Harney. So returning back to the questions at hand then, with respect to the water question specifically, for how long is the surcharge going to be going on? It is indefinitely at this point. There's Public Works and the engineer and trustee Hoff have gotten a list together. There's probably about 10 different connections or roads of water mains that do need attention. The most important being Hillcrest. The second one coming up would be Winmore. The price tag for the Hillcrest one is about $966,000. So we're looking at about $1 million to replace that one. And it is probably more repairs than it is original water main. Is that correct, Director Killinger? And then after that would be the Winmore one. Now, there are 1,050 households that are paying for the water fee. At that rate, they would be able to replenish, so they'd be able to replenish the loan that we're taking from our water reserves in about 2 years' time to replenish the $1 million for the Hillcrest Water Main project. It was originally planned as just doing 3 projects for 6 years. But as we started to see, as the magnitude of all the water main infrastructure was recognized, the board decided to go on with it indefinitely. Because there will probably always be expenses for the water mains. This is limited only to water mains. I don't know anybody who's saying anything about sewage. It has nothing to do with sewage or septics. So if you are on water, you are on water main, you will get the $50 infrastructure fee on there. If you're on a well, you do not get that fee. If you have, please let us know. Eugene and I worked on this just the other day. You should not have one on that. If you get a hydrant fee but are on well, you should not be getting the $50 water main fee. It is only for those who are getting City of Elgin water coming out of their faucets. Right now, it cannot go to any other projects whatsoever. It is the Water and Sewage Fund is what's called an enterprise fund. It's one, it helps us keep it very organized and everything itemized as to where the funding goes for operations, maintenance, usage, revenue coming in from the residents for their bills. And it's all in the same, just call it a box. And then the general fund is entirely separate and you cannot transfer funds for various projects. It has to stay within the water and sewage enterprise fund. Just continue with the water ones and I'll get back to Surrey. So not, Mr. Morrison, not everybody is required to pay it. It's about 157 that are on well that won't be paying it. And that comes to about 1,050. So 1,050 neighbors are all paying it, are all chipping in $50. And that's helping us replace the $1 million water main. Then the next project and Winmore's current pricing is about $600,000. And as Trustee Hoff and the Finance Committee assessed, one of our biggest problems with this has been inflation. We've known about this, the village as a whole has known these water mains that needed to be replaced, not just for a few years, but for decades. And Director Killinger and Engineer Steele have been very patient with our inability to go forward with this, but it really took the funding. And so it was voted on and yes, this will go indefinitely. If everybody's connected. What year did we hook up to Elgin? Do you know that?
Well, it was when Saddle Club went in, it was in the mid-80s. East side, we did have Sleepy Hollow did have its own well that served residents. I don't remember what year the east side through Bonkoski was connected. I'll have to look that up.
Would that have included the water mains and everything because you were getting well water for that?
Not all of it, no.
No.
And then, so in answer to your question in the back, yeah, did you get anything for sewage on your, or an extra fee for sewage?
No, I meant
okay.
water.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, I meant water.
Yes,
If I
and
said
yes,
sewer, I
and then
meant
it
water.
cannot transfer to other projects. And that's one of the benefits with this is this will only go to water main infrastructure and at that, and if we can get more funding, I mean, I'm still gonna keep pursuing other grants and looking for decos and what have you. So if we can get additional funding, we can reassess the fee at that time. But the reality is, and this is something that I learned at the CMAP thing, water is it's just it's gonna keep going up and up. And I don't know how to say it any differently because at the same time, groceries are going up, gas is going up, everything is going up. So we are looking for resources. We're getting that, we want to get the right information on the FAQs for you. So there's a few more, we've got about 6 different financial assistance areas, depending on income, depending on emergencies, and depending on age at times. So there's different ways to qualify. And then there's also some that are just nonprofits that will assist anybody if you just need it. So we're finalizing that. We'll try and get that out this week.
Can I ask a question based on your answer or not?
Unfortunately, no, I'm sorry.
Can I-
She asked
can-
me and I can ask it.
No,
Okay,
sorry, I'm trying to keep it specific with the public comments you stated and then.
I know, but you made an answer that created another question.
I'd be happy to speak with you after the meeting.
Okay.
Let me go to this and, okay, I think that covered all of the water questions. With respect to Surrey Lane, I did speak to Director Killinger about it, mentioned Surrey. And then also was talking with them about the planning street program, so and Trustee Kennelly, so we will get that under consideration. We'll get back to you on that.
Thank you.
I can, so Surrey's not the only street that hasn't had the hydrants painted.
Acorn and all the streets around us
No,
have
no,
had that
that's-
side that's painted.
We-
Locust,
There was a lot of we haven't even touched the west side, so I'm just answering your question, it's not just Surrey.
yeah.
As far as the water main lifespan, new materials, it's 100 years.
Oh,
Thank you.
and
Mr. Vernon, the 1601 application, I appreciate that. I know how you feel about this and I get that, but there's no matter of it being a wrong call. It's just. It was brought in as an application. We accepted it. It was upon review. We found out they were missing that sheet. We let them know. But we can't turn away an application. I cannot unilaterally say, no, it's due process. They turn in an application. They get their time before Planning and Zoning Commission. That commission will then assess it based on the 7 findings of fact, make their recommendation or not, and then it comes to the board. There wasn't a call on it. I understand the history of the location and I'm sorry about that. And also with respect to the building official not being in for 60 days, we are actually working on getting the IGA passed tonight with Carpentersville, which will fill that void. So we won't be operating without a building official. And Lynn, I'll reserve comments for yours once we bring up the item on the agenda, but thank you for coming in and sharing. Public comments? Trustee reports, Trustee Kennelly, roads, parks and streets.
Okay, just a few things. I was advised by a resident of some challenges with the cul-de-sac on Judah Peak. I did go out and saw it. Actually, 2 residents brought it to my attention. So, although it gets very little traffic because it's in the center part, we have placed a cone there to advise residents to avoid that. It is on my list as well as Director Killinger's list for repair when we do the street program in the fall of this year. As it relates to streets, since we even had some comments about it, I had this prepared in advance. But in 2025, we received $147,000 from the motor fuel tax, which is how we fund street repair. And we spent $147,000. And that money covered 1,910 feet of road resurfacing. So it's $76 a foot to grind it and then put down 2 inches of asphalt and the stones that go along the shoulder of the road. So you can see that we have 22 miles of roadway in Sleepy Hollow. So just looking at numbers and knowing the Surrey and Hilltop and just about almost every street is going to need some attention in the foreseeable future. So, if we were to do 25% of the road, we'd be looking at a $2 million project. So I only bring it up in terms of, again, we're challenged with where's the money come from? So we talked a bit about grants. I had a resident that brought some information to me. It's very detailed for grants for roadways. So my direction is going to be how as a board do we start to break this down so that we can at least start having an action plan? Because they usually require action plans, they usually require safety plans. There's a lot involved in submitting grants. So when you're up against the deadline, like this one is May 26th, nowhere did we have the time to get that put together. But now that we have it on our radar, I'd like to start working on how do we address these things going forward so that we are in a better position to react than we have been, at least with this most recent grant opportunity. So you can see that with 22 miles of roadway, it's a large expense that we have to start thinking about now so that we don't find ourselves in a water main type scenario down the road. As far as parks, I've had more conversations with West Dundee regarding that bike path along Bonkoski Road. Their portion, to fix their portion to make it ADA accessible before we would talk about our portion, is $130,000 for them to fix their portion, including retaining walls. And he's going to be, West Dundee will be putting out a bid, but I have a feeling that it's not on their radar to do this year just because of that cost for their portion. So I'll keep you posted on that. But that's what I have for tonight.
Thank you, trustee Connelly. Thank you for all those numbers on the street. Finance, trustee Hoff.
Right, I just wanted to talk a little more, if I can, about the water main. We've been talking about it for quite some time. We've had 2 town hall meetings here. We displayed maps of where the breaks are and why we're concentrating on Hillcrest and Winmore. It's on YouTube. You can go look at it. You can hear all the detail. To say that you have no idea that's going on, that's not on us. We can't go to everybody's home and discuss this in person. I'd love to be able to do it, but it's just not feasible. So, to put it bluntly, again, Bill said we have 22 miles of streets that needs replacing. We have 22 miles of water mains that are going to need to be replaced. At $50 times 1,050 residents who are on that generates, let's just do the math here. That's 52,500 a month generated to pay for that. Times 12 months, 630,000 a year. It costs $1 million for a half mile. $2 million for a mile to replace it. In 2014, we did our last water main replacement. It cost us $150 a foot. Inflation has now brought it all the way up to $350. If we do not do something as quickly as possible, it's going to be $400, then it'll be $450, and then the village can only take a loan out. Maximum lending is $12 million. We can't get any more than that based on our balance sheet and our lending authority to bond it out. So this is somewhat of a concern. We need to do something now. We're doing it without any interest and any bank fees or any other ancillary fees. Every dollar that we pay, that $50, is going to replace our water mains. You asked, when can that end? Well, here's another rough one that you're going to have to think about. At $50, 630,000 a year, $41 million in water mains total. It will take 64 years before we replace all the water mains. So $50 is indefinite. And I'll be blunt with you, it's going to go up. We can only do a project every other year at $50 or $630 a year. That's the way we're doing it. Nobody wants to do it. I don't want to do it. Did I want to pay $50? No. But it's a grim reality that we need to face as residents of Sleepy Hollow. So thank you for listening. One good thing for anybody that is a senior, 65 years or older, you should have received this in the mail with your tax bill. This is a senior citizens assessment freeze application. These are filled out every year by every resident in order to receive a break on your property tax. We have tossed this idea. It is going to be brought up and as an agenda item. I did a lot of work on this today. And in discussing it with Wendy O'Neill and Eugene prior, we are gonna create a form that a resident can come to the village, grab a form, fill out some light information, and tell us that you are already qualified for the senior citizens exemption freeze, or that you are applying for it for this year. Last year, a resident couldn't make more than 65. This year, right in this form, it's 75,000 a year. Next year, it's going to 77,000, and the year after that, it's going to 79,000. If you make less than that, you would qualify for a 50% reduction in that $50 infrastructure fee. I think that's fair. It's helping. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me, email me. I spoke with a resident today. I won't name names, but after I explained the situation and how she can do that, she was happy. So that is my soapbox for the night on water management.
You want to report anything from the finance committee meeting?
Eugene, you could, I don't want to steal your thunder. I mean, the appropriations for.
We set the appropriations, public hearing is gonna be June 1st at 7 p.m. And then we'll discuss it and then vote it on the board meeting that's following.
This is the traditional meeting where we always ask for people to show up so you can hear about the discussion of where your money's being spent. And we get maybe like 2 people. So I like seeing all these people just come a half an hour early at the next meeting, or 7 o'clock, half an hour early.
Yeah. So if you want to review their appropriation, they're on the door, behind the, whatchamacallit, behind the notice, the agenda notice. So.
That's all for finance.
That's it.
All right. Water and sewage is not here. Trustee Diatley, police and public safety.
A couple things, and I'm not talking about water mains. That's we are in ongoing negotiations with our part-time police officers to get their contract settled with us. That is ongoing, and we hope to have that wrapped up fairly soon. The full-time was already taken care of. A couple things I did attend today, a very informative luncheon with the chief and Administrator Van on Shop with a Cop. It's very big. The chief has made it a good priority for our officers to participate with that. We learned a lot about how they are funded, how they raise their money, and just it's a great program. And it really is good to see that our officers are very involved in that. And they do this all in their time. And so it's great to be, we were very well represented at the meeting and in the community with that project. So it's a very, very rewarding project for the police officers as well. Couple other things, as President Bo pointed out, please walk the right way in traffic. School is out now, so kids don't look where they're going. Okay, a lot of adults don't look where they're going as well. So be careful out there on the roads, especially with all the little ones now that school's out. You know, a lot of times they're way ahead of mom and dad in the strollers and the bicycles. So you gotta, you know, take an extra eye and slow down a little bit and keep an eye out for that. So that's all I have at the moment. Chief, you have anything you would like to add?
Just a quick summary on the cop on top, that the donut coupons, you don't usually see police officers giving away donuts. We were out there, we raised, I don't know the exact numbers yet, but we're a little over $1,750 is what we raised for Special Olympics. So we'll be donating that. That's a good project. We'll also be selling merchandise at the National Night Out for that. So that Special Olympics and the Shop with a Cop are just 2 wonderful programs that I've never met an officer yet that got involved in either one of them, but didn't actually love the experience and come away from it feeling really good about themselves. Very proud of our officers for dedicating their time to support both those initiatives.
I actually got to stop by on Saturday, and it was nice running into his Officer Peace and Allegretti. And Officer Allegretti is one of our newest ones. He's still gonna actually finishing up full-time training next month. And he was just running back and forth from the cars, getting donations, constantly working, and it was nice to visit with them and see them in a fun setting. So they're having a good time.
It is one of the things I notice a lot of, I stay off Facebook and I avoid it. Well, there's a lot of comments a lot of times on Facebook about, why can't we put a stop sign here? Why can't we just reduce our speed limits here? It's not that simple. We can't just simply throw a stop sign wherever we want. We can't simply just reduce speed limits wherever we want. There's legal responsibilities to do that. And, you know, we would need to get it's called traffic warrants to be able to reduce our speed limit. And they take a lot of things into consideration, traffic accidents with injuries, pedestrian injuries, things like that. And most of our roadways, unfortunately, will never meet the standard to reduce our speed limits beyond that. So just want to let people know that it's not a process that we can just throw a stop sign or change the speed limit however we want. We look at a bunch of different initiatives for trying to control speeds in traffic. But just reducing speed limits arbitrarily or stop signs, there's a liability with it that we can't incur. So.
Thank you. Right, buildings and environment. Oh, trustee Schatzberg is not here. I know that. Buildings and zoning, trustee Thomas.
I've got few things. First thing, do we need a permit for the big garage sale thing that's being put on by, I think it's Amy Foot? Does Sleepy Hollow require, because I think West Dundee did not require the residents to get the permit, so is that handled by?
Police department, big signs and stuff like that.
Right,
But
but,
when it comes up, should I post ahead of time?
like, if I want to participate, do I have to get an individual permit
The
myself?
individual, I believe so, and that's normally by the police department side,
Checking with Becky.
and you should get the signs. and everything.
Okay, and the reason I'm asking is a few residents asked me because West Dundee did not require their residents to, because it was a whole neighborhood thing, so that's why I was asking if we're still gonna require that. That's a yes, I guess.
We handle that the same way we handle any garage sale. So
Okay,
there's no
alright.
special accommodation for that.
Okay, all right. The other thing I wanted to bring up was, it's good that the FAQs on the water replacement is going out, but the letter that was sent out, I think my only concern, it said, if you want more information, to check the website, and is there anything we're doing besides the FAQs for the residents, that there's some residents that aren't on, like, they don't have a computer or a smart, so that's,
The FAQs will go up. Can you get them out in the next water day as well? My intent was to have a print version of both,
okay.
but then also have it on the website. And then as we go into construction and what have you, giving updates as to when it's starting. and
Okay, all right,
We're getting nods. Thank you.
The other thing is, and I want to make the board aware, Chief and I have been working, I received a call in December from a police officer from another town who is a dog handler. And he and his wife are looking to move to Sleepy Hollow, but there are rules and laws, and stop me if I'm wrong, that a dog handler has to have a certain size. It can't just be like a 10 by 12 chain link fence. I'm gonna call it a fence, but it's a dog run. And when I moved in 37 years ago, the woman was the original owner. There was one outside the back of my house. She took it down when she moved, but she boarded dogs and that kind of thing. So this officer, we had a call with him, and they are now seriously looking in Sleepy Hollow, but they are going to need a variance for whatever home that they purchase. And I've asked him to come to the planning and zoning meeting so that he can apply for a special variance in case they do purchase, so that it's on the planning and zoning's radar, and I want to put it on all of our radars, that when he comes there and if it gets approved by them, then it will come back to us to vote on. With that being said, and Mark, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that variance will only apply to the home that they purchase. If they move out of the village, they will have to take that, I'm calling it a dog run fence. It has to be bigger than what we require in our ordinance. That's why he would have to come get a special variance, and it would be removed if they ever moved from the home. So I just wanted on everybody's radar. It's not a for sure thing. I have talked to the police officer and he said he will definitely come and talk to planning and zoning. He will come and talk to the board whenever it goes through. If it goes through, and then he said he will even put in writing, he will remove that fence from whatever home that they purchase. But it is a requirement for a dog handler on a police department.
And the main reasoning behind it is police dogs tend to be high energy dogs. Having them in a small little enclosed area is just not gonna work for those dogs. They also make very good neighbors. They're the best behaved dog you're gonna find anywhere. And the individual we talked to is very conscientious, understands the concerns and limitations and wants to make sure everything is done right, so.
Do you know what the dimension differences are between what we're allowed as a dog run and what is required for police handling?
Yeah, I don't know what the exact size difference is yet, but that's something for him to have to present to
Right.
the P and Z and let them make the determination.
I know mine was, when I first moved in, it was like a 10 by 12 or 8 by 12. It went along the backside of my garage. But then it's taken down. So I know his needs to be bigger than that.
Look forward to their meeting them hopefully.
Yes. And I really am grateful that he took the initiative to call and talk to us beforehand. So they just had a new baby, so I forgot to tell the chief that. New baby boy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there was no delay. They were waiting for that first.
And then my other items we put for new business.
Okay. Thank you. All right, that's done with the trustee reports, so we are moving on to old business. Can I have a motion to approve the amendment for the IGA with Partnersville?
Did you?
Oh, I'm sorry, the resolution. Oh, we got the wrong
Did
one.
you get the resolution?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you, sorry.
It should be approved by a written resolution, but so the motion should be an active resolution, whatever appropriate number is, those things.
Awesome. Thank you. Yes. All right. All right, may I have a motion to approve the resolution 2026-2, a resolution approving an amendment to the intergovernmental agreement with Village of Carpentersville for building code services.
So moved, Diatley.
Second.
Moved by Diatley, seconded by Thomas. Comments, questions, discussion?
Is this only for until we get the new building official? Correct.
Well, this is to create a government agreement, and they know that I spoke with moved by, yeah. Discussion. I spoke with the village manager over in Partnersville because just to confirm that they knew we were looking at others. They were just very happy to help us out in the interim and to whatever degree, and we need to make adjustments later to the IGA. If we do decide to move forward with another agreement, then we can entertain at that time, but this provides us with a bridge from not having had a building official on hand for the next 60 days until, or however long till we get this building official hired and moving forward. So we needed some help. Partnersville, yeah. So any other comments, questions?
So is this an extension of the agreement we've already had with them?
No, oh, go ahead, Eugene.
Modification. So what it was is that the original agreement was limited, this expands it. So they're gonna provide more services for us than the originally.
Okay, is there any type of notice in advance when we're going to cancel and expire this agreement?
60 days.
Originally, what we had with the IGA back in the fall, we set it up so that they were kind of helping us out with reviewing permits and doing inspections. We found that we needed somebody more to help with zoning, to be a code official and help give some guidance on review and planning. So we set out to find a building official to fill the entire role. it fell through. So in the meantime, we knew we needed, well, excuse me, as Mr. Vernon has said before, there are certifications with building officials, and we've been lacking in that critical area. So Partnersville is willing to fill in. We have access to their development department. We have access for some plan review, zoning review, and some guidance with ordinances. And then that'll just cover the, like I said, be a bridge until we find a more permanent individual or permanent person to fill the role.
Will they run the P and Z meetings for the next 60 days? None of that. Okay.
They're unfortunately not available literally on that same day, so
Just confirm.
And it can be canceled upon those.
written notice 60 days, yes.
60 days.
And do you think that if we gave them less notice, they would be open to?
It's
Or
a
if it
contract that we've
becomes-
written and agreed to, so we're gonna go with 60 days.
Okay.
Any other comments, questions, discussion? Hearing none, it's a resolution. Roll call vote, please. Trustee Hoff,
Aye.
trustee Canali.
Aye.
Trustee Thomas.
Aye.
Trustee Diatley.
Aye.
All in favor, motion, no opposed, motion passes for resolution 2026-2. All right, moving on to 13B, discussion and motion to approve amendments to chapter 13's mobile food vendor. Hearing none,
No.
does anybody want to make a motion? Oh, I thought you raised your hand.
No, I spoke to.
You do move.
Yeah.
Oh, trustee, okay. Moved by Canali,
Second, did the
seconded with Diatley. Comments, questions, discussion?
Have I not seen this amendment?
It was in the agenda packet. It had part of chapter 13 and then there's some red edits in there.
Okay, my apology.
No worries.
Okay,
It is the same, it's the same as the original licensing, but with feedback from trustees and around. Because there's some I don't think confusion, but disagreement on mobile food vending. We made it I put in stipulations that. Everything, all the materials, all the equipment, vehicles would have to move by the end of business. Nothing could stay overnight. If they did want to have a location on private property, they would need to have, just as the village has to sign off on being on public property, they would need written consent from that homeowner that they have permission to come onto that property for whether it's a block party or a private party. See what we have here. Sorry, it's an 88-page agenda packet.
I didn't see any information about like the licenses from the health department and things like that.
There's no
like-
change in that.
Okay,
it's,
I just- So they do have to provide.
Correct.
proof.
All mobile food vendors shall at all times comply with the rules and regulations of the health department. which
Okay,
include, of
before we
course,
give
having
them
a
a
license.
permit, before we give them a permit.
Yeah.
Okay,
And while they hold the permit.
right. The only
Continue.
reason I'm asking because that didn't happen before, so I just want to make sure it's clear that that is, we follow the guidance.
Right.
I have it up in front of me. Did you get a chance to read?
Yes.
Okay. So yes, all materials and vehicles belonging to the licensee must vacate the premise at the end of each business day. No overnight parking is allowed. And I did have a question of the trustees. Did you want to stipulate a time? It says that business ends at sunset. Do you want to stipulate they have to be closed up shop and out by an hour after the end of business, or leave it open? I mean, or just by end of business day?
Well, it's,
I don't think end of business day works.
I'm sorry, end of business is in there.
and it's sunset. Sunset, sunset, and leave.
Well, they're allowed to sell food products between ten AM and sunset, so they could,
Right.
in theory, keep selling right up to sunset, but then this is the premise that they have to leave, so, or the
At the end
stipulation.
of their business day, they have to leave, so.
Just end. Okay. Alright.
That's what it says now, if you want to allow some extra time, but
Well, I know that the residents on Acorn have their block party and they've had, food trucks in the, ice cream thing truck or whatever. I haven't stayed that long, but I don't know when they shut down or when they leave, so I don't know. Do you know when that happens? I mean, I don't wanna. Because I know that the block party goes for a while. So I don't wanna shut them down when people are still buying stuff, so it's sunset.
I think we need to set the rules and parameters of everybody, I mean, I get what you're saying, but if, I mean,
No, I'm fine with the sunset, but I just
Okay.
wanted to, you know. Throw that wrench in there,
alright.
sorry.
how does this apply to our approval for demo to the end of May?
This is, well, we have to, it has nothing to do with, it has nothing to do with other businesses. We said that we would have, we would allow an extension of the current mobile food vending license from last year through the end of May,
Right.
while we sorted out kind of feedback from everybody and come up with a more accurate ordinance of what we're looking for. So that's what I'm bringing here. And anybody as of the end of May who doesn't have a license will
They'll have to go through
come in for the new, yeah, but whatever we set now.
the new process.
Yeah, it was only extended through the end of May.
Do
Regardless.
you? Should there not be a comprehensive ordinance that incorporates these changes once they're approved? And voted on at the next meeting? This is not an ordinance, it's text for a draft of only the amendments to the. And there'll be a 10-day publication period before it will become effective in any of them. So if the board approves these modifications, then I would suggest I prepare a comprehensive ordinance collecting all of chapter chapter 13 and put that in place so that the clerk can then publish it by pamphlet form and it'll take effect. It'll be in June.
Right, but I did look at that, so our first meeting in June is June 1st, so it really is after the expiration, so we have the ordinance on June 1st. And then so it would take effect 10 days after that. Right, so, sorry, there's a little murmur over here. These are the draft amendments, yes, the draft amendments. It does require an ordinance, the end of May. The food vending license extension was granted to the end of May 31st. Our meeting is June 1st. We can approve the ordinance on that time. It takes 10 days for publication for it to go into effect, and then we can start accepting as of June 10th. or 11th, depending on when we publish. Actually, it'd be June 2nd.
You could issue licenses in June.
Any further comments, questions, discussion on the other things in here are an application must include written confirmation from the landowner. The area should be under number 7, the area shall be returned to the way the operator found it at the beginning of the business day. It is recommended that operator photograph the location upon arrival of each day. Temporary outdoor seating may not be provided at the location occupied by the mobile food vendor, and no equipment, seating, or signage may be permanently installed at the location. Is there anything you guys wanted to add on to that? Any specifics?
You just said something about the signing.
No equipment, seating, or it's number 8.
Yeah.
No equipment, seating, or signage may be permanently installed at the location. Nothing can be permanently installed, but
Okay, so it's okay if they have it on their car or on the. Okay, because it's not permanent. Okay.
do you want to allow temporary signs to be put up, like the easels there?
No. I don't think so, because we're still working on that sign ordinance.
Thank you.
So I don't think, no.
So not only should they not be installed, they should not be displayed.
You gotta have a menu somehow.
I was gonna say, I was,
That's what I mean.
So next-
So if they have like most of them have a sign on their food truck and then a menu on their food truck as well, the ones that I've seen. I haven't seen. You know,
oftentimes they have
a, a stanchion.
or name or image.
Sandwich board.
I would be okay with that since it's just during,
During their
yeah,
operation.
during their operation hours.
So allowing for signage. All right, we've covered signage, we've covered, they have to leave by the end of the day. Are they, temporary outdoor seating is not allowed at all. And do you want to have any other specifications? I mean, especially in the summertime, sometimes it's convenient to have tents out there, out under the sun. Is that permitted during the operation? I mean, right now we're saying no. Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're considering all the options and things that you guys were bringing up that I've heard back.
I would say no.
No to the tent.
Because you don't know how big that tends to, like. A food truck is a food truck. I have not seen tents before, but. I just think that that's. Then you're asking for more equipment. More like they'll start.
I'm envisioning the tents that we see at markets, and I'm just thinking if we limit it to that size.
But
Or just
where
not-
where would you put that tent? That's kind of like if they're gonna set it next to their food truck, then it's kind of a place for seating, you know what I'm saying? That people will assume that, so I think just the food truck, but I could be wrong.
Only time I ever see that food truck working is on big holidays in the hollow, and then they're gonna be under the pavilion or under the tents that the service club is installing. If somebody has a block party. That's it.
Just check.
Not a block.
So you want to include no tents, no. Okay,
No equipment.
no equipment. Oh, miss them. All right, any further comments, questions, discussion? Hearing none, well, this isn't the actual ordinance, so I'll just do it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All in favor, all in favor, no opposed, motion passes. So we will have that ordinance then to vote on June 1st meeting. Thank you. Moving on to new business. Can I have a motion to approve the printing and postal costs to mail summer 2026, the Legend newsletter?
So second.
Moved by Pinelli, seconded by Hoff, and sorry, would normally not be on my phone, but I did get a text from CM Parker about that actual expense. So before I take you guys
Is
down.
this something isn't this in our budget already as well? Because every year we mail this one out and do this one, so it's already in the budget, correct?
The situation really is that we are required to publish our water quality report and get it to all the residents. So the reason why we have to, if we don't send out the newsletter, we would then have to do a mailing.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I'm all for doing it. I'm just
But
saying, I
it's
don't
in
even think,
budget, yeah.
do we really even need board approval since it's already in the budget and we've done this every year for the 7 years I've been on the board? I don't know, so that's what I'm asking.
I'll look into that so we can avoid that motion next summer.
So I'm all for it.
In the meantime, I've moved by Pinelli, seconded by Hoff. Any further comments, questions, discussion?
Isn't it gonna be more expensive this year because of the loss of the advertising? Or is that just the printing?
So that's what I was getting. It's 1,200
So to
copies.
approve printing and postal costs.
It's 1,200 copies. That's what I was pulling up. The print cost is $941.60. The mailing surcharge is $265 and postage is $420 at 35 cents per unit.
For grand total of,
I do not have that number here, but I know you have a calculator from counting on your bill. Trustee Hawson,
1626.60.
thank you. So we estimated 1,400, I think, before. I'm sorry, say like 16.
26.60.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
And then just that, to tag along with Eugene, there is gonna be a QR code on the legend for finding the test results for the water.
Yeah, that's my understanding. And then, it is already posted on the website, but posting on the website is not enough.
Gotcha.
It's a consumer confidence report. We have to post it every year by mandated by the EPA.
Right.
Have you read it, Tom?
Yeah.
Are we good?
Oh, great.
I trust you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Diatley?
Aye.
Trustee Thomas?
I,
Trustee Connelly?
Aye.
Trustee Hawk?
Aye.
All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Thank you. Really quickly, we have some new faces in the audience. I did just want to mention, if you need a break, and this is a particularly long meeting, there's water fountain down the hall as well as 2 restrooms. So please, and if you need to stretch your legs, you'll still be able to hear us coming down there. All right, item 14B, discussion and motion to approve sewer catch basin installation on Timber Drive.
So move. Second.
Moved by Kennelly, seconded by Diatley. Comments, questions, discussion, or actually, Director Killinger, would you like to?
Sure, so on the cul-de-sac part of Timber Drive. I wanna say about 10 years ago, we extended into the grass area of the cul-de-sac. Because the dump truck or the garbage trucks were cutting the corner, creating debris and stuff. In doing so, there's a culvert that goes underneath that part of the road. And it created a big gap from the road to the culvert. So the solution was put a grate on the culvert, put some riprap, so that the trucks can drive over it, not fall into the ditch. It's become a drainage issue. When we got all that rain, we had to re-swale that. So the proposal is to put a catch basin. I don't know if you guys have this picture here. Put a catch basin right where this barricade is. That way it will bring it up. We can't move the drainage up because it's on a hill. This is the ideal spot to catch the water that's coming in from the cul-de-sac. It was creating washout issues for the residents that are on the downside of the hill, so it's something that we need to do.
You gonna do it in concrete?
It's a concrete, yeah, it's a storm sewer catch basin, so it's a concrete with a grate on the top of the, it's like with a lid.
Prefab, concrete?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, good.
Any other comments, questions, discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Hawk?
Aye.
Trustee
Oh, wait.
Thomas?
I'm sorry, I don't think I mentioned how much.
$4,145.
4,145,
Yes.
even?
Yes.
Thank you. So for the motion to approve a sewer catch basin installation on Timber Drive in the amount of $4,145. Now, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Hawk?
Aye.
Trustee Thomas?
I,
Trustee Diatley?
Aye.
Trustee Connelly?
Aye.
All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Thank you. Director Killinger brought this to my attention recently. We need to renew a resolution for basically it's a right of way for IDOT to come in and do work. Right, yes. Do I have a motion to renew resolution? Well, it won't be
Well, this supposed to be resolution 2026-3.
2026-3.
So move.
second,
Moved by Kennelly, seconded by Thomas. Director Killinger, would you update the board, please?
Yeah, last time I got a notification from IDOT, February of this year saying that our resolution expired. The last one was in 2019. I don't know.
We
You
did
guys
go
have a
through the
copy
minute,
of-
we have
of
passed
the-
it
yeah.
since, so we're just gonna send another.
It's basically to
But
be on the compliance with IDOT as far as if we were to do anything with driveways, culverts in the right of way on their, it's their right of way.
Probably makes sense to agree to it.
Yeah, and it, moving forward, we'll just have to mark it on the calendar. Probably have to do this every year.
yeah, looking at it, it was 2.
Is that
That one
right?
was for 2019 and 2020. And it was done. And then it was done in subsequent years. So but we figured just get this done. And while we're trying to get a hold of the state and find out why it didn't appear that way.
We're calling it 2026-3.
Correct.
Yeah.
I knew it was for 1920, and I thought I saw one for 21-22. But then it's, yeah. I would check.
Is there a cost to this or is it just signing a document?
Just sign this document.
Any further comments, discussion? Trustee Diatley?
Aye.
Trustee Hall?
Aye.
Trustee Thomas?
Aye.
Trustee Canali?
Aye.
All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. All right, now we. Discussion, I'm sorry, can I have a motion to approve amending the village ordinance Title 6, Chapter 3 with respect to the water services? We will discuss this.
So
Moved by Kennelly, seconded by Thomas. Mark or Kyle, would you take it away?
Sure.
And you're on the roll.
It's basically amending the code. We've had an issue, became more complicated, so I said, let's just simplify this. It's in the instance of someone has a service leak that's after the B box before the water meter. The water's being wasted, the village is paying for that water waste. And per the old code, we didn't have the authority to just notify them and shut them off. This states that we can. We'll give you, I forget what it is, it's 48 hours or 72 hours, depending on the severity of the leak. We notify the homeowner, there's a leak, you need to fix this within this amount of time frame. If you don't, we have the authority to shut you off at the B box, and we won't restore water until the leak is fixed.
And the crux of this was, so for those of you who haven't been on water or roads, the B box is the one that's out by the street. That's where it changes from the village responsibility to the homeowner's responsibility as it travels up to the house, but it doesn't get metered until you get up towards the house. So any kind of breakage from the street to the house is not going to register with the homeowner because it's not changing their meter. But how did we find out about this one?
The resident complained about his water meter making noise, so I went in there, shut off his pipes inside. The noise still persisted, his valves worked. We shut off our B box, the noise stopped, so I knew it was you can tell. It also takes the burden off of us of having to bring out, it helps the resident because I don't think they understand the cost of prevailing wage. So if we were to go out, I'd hire a contractor to go fix the leak. The guy was able to do it for $3,000. My contractor quoted $6,000. So it just takes the burden off of us as a village to repair someone's private line that they are ultimately responsible for.
Any further questions? Hearing none,
Is there a number for this ordinance?
oh, yes. Yeah, the one that's so it is 0264.
Oh, no, resolution is 3.
This is from last week's,
We don't know.
last meetings. You tell me. Sorry, we're combining 2 packets from the previous ones. Um. 2026. Remember?
Wasn't signed at all. I don't know. So you have to fill it in.
Okay.
All right.
All right, ordinance number 2026, amending Title 6, Public Ways and Property, Chapter 3, Village Water and Sewer to provide for responsibility for repair and maintenance of water service lines in the village. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Hall,
Aye.
trustee Diatley,
Aye.
trustee Thomas,
Aye.
trustee Cannelli.
Aye.
All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Thank you. All right, now this is item 14 or 14E. Can I have a motion to recommend that residents who qualify for the Kane County Senior Citizen Property Assessment Freeze be granted a 50% reduction on the water infrastructure fee once approved program status is verified?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Hoff, seconded by Kennelly. Comments, questions, discussion? Actually, Trustee Hoff, would you like to update us from the Finance Committee and what you and Eugene discussed and structure this?
I think it's a very simple process. We would probably get with Eugene tomorrow. And after speaking with Wendy, Wendy felt having a form filled out that would be filled out by the resident, delivered to the office here, and then emailed or forwarded in a email to Wendy, so she has a record. It is something that the resident has to requalify for every year. But it would be basically the homeowner's name, their address, PIN number to the property, and we would verify on public information on the assessor's website via the PIN number that they do in fact have that senior citizens assessment free. And at that point, they qualify. We send that form to Wendy and she makes the change accordingly in the what is it, MSI system.
And the date on the blue form that you had earlier, when's the deadline for the?
July 1st, excellent question.
So,
So if a resident who has not qualified prior and doesn't get it in by July 1st, there's no help until the following year.
and do we have any indication as to when we'll know, or when they have that? When they have those individuals certified, or is it just they go in and sign it and then they get the check immediately? Is
It
rolling
takes them a
business
while to
issue?
process, so I would say by the end of August, they would have that done, and even though it won't be printed on a bill because the tax bills are in arrears, there is gonna be sufficient notification in the website when you put in the PIN that says they qualified for the senior free. I verified that with someone in Geneva today.
All right, any other? Let me see, wait. All right, thank you. Yeah, any other comments, questions, discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, all in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Thank you, everybody. I'm glad we got that on there. You think, can we get something posted on the website as well, once we know what we're, how we're moving forward with that?
Once we've got I don't want to put anything up until we.
Let's actually get something up though, if we could just remind people if they can file by July 1st, 2026 on Facebook and the website, so that they know that that's an option. All right, 14F, discussion and motion. All right, thanks. Discussion and motion to approve establishing additional utility easement or easements between Gale and Hilltop Lane, which is known as the Hilltop Greenway. Can I have a motion, or can I have a, yes, I have a motion.
Second.
Moved by Kennelly, seconded by Thomas. Actually, I would like to update you guys. So we had Lynn speak earlier. Trustee Thomas reached out to me back in March. This was about early March. Just started to talk, and then around the same time, late March, we also had an issue with Metronet along Hilltop Lane in Saddle Club. So on both sides, Hilltop, I'll say original, no judgment, Hilltop Original and then Hilltop Saddle Club, with changing some of the utilities. It was going back in the woods in Saddle Club where it wasn't butting up with another house, bought and they weren't utilizing the utility easements that were out front that were already being used. That plus some of our more thicketed areas that they couldn't get the machinery back into were also facing some trouble. So from the end of March to this morning, running out to the Mengs property, I've been working with Tim, and Tim is the construction manager, and Tony, their area subcontractor crew leader, in trying to find solutions. I gave them access to our yard and our easement, so it was cutting through, but it may not seem like it, but the hilltop variations that we came up with shifted a little bit so that basically it affected the hilltop up front, and we had to figure out the solutions there because I can't go into too much of this, but everything played off, and that's why we had a delay. We had to work out the longer end one, come back all the way around, retrace it, and that's when we came back to the discussions of your property. And so with that, everything is aligned. All the options are possible. We didn't need to know necessarily about all the rest of it, but it was a whole big grand plan to get things in the proper easements. So when I did go out, I had contacted Engineer Steele that day to see if we could utilize village property for MetroNet digging, if we could do directional boring out closer to the swale of that greenway. He indicated we could. Admittedly, he was on vacation. He wasn't accessing a lot of his village resources at that time. I came out, spoke with Lin Meng, and then also got a text with Tim Gregory from MetroNet. Turned out he was in the area, so he came right over, and we were able to meet with both Lin and Hans at their property. Also some neighbors directly next to them, across the easement from them, and kind of walk through that area and see if there's any other possibilities. There's a lot of really old growth on that particular easement property. I happen to know 40 years ago, like that, those trees were there when I was a kid. It's not that the current owners have gone out past their easement. I think this made sense. It goes beyond all of the trees. It goes beyond the septic field. And so it made sense at the time. And then upon further discussion with basically staff, we learned that it had to be an easement vote for the board. So then we looked into seeing if there was any other possible options, as well as figuring out the configurations for the other houses on the other side. And we did came up with the idea of, instead of just doing a backyard easement on Gale Lane, we could just use the hilltop easement and cut across through side easements, which then they reminded me we would need separate easements to do that. There is one that actually already exists on your map of option 3, that's first or second arrow. It does not need to be an easement. There's already one that cuts through there according to Comcast. It looked like it was Comcast and AT&T. I had that picture today. So there is one existing side easement that has cut through the greenway, so it doesn't not happen in that big expanse. Yeah, I've had some people have indicated in favor or not in favor, so I'm looking to you guys for discussion, and MetroNet's ready to do it. They were there this morning, and I'm sorry, that was turned out as a cross communication on their part. Their construction manager was out of town last week. Another guy was out today. We had a Zoom meeting on Thursday in which we set with them, don't do anything until after Monday's board meeting. And somehow in there it became work on Monday instead of Monday board meeting. But thank you for the call, because they would get over there and get them to pause and leave.
So what you're saying is option 3 is one of the best option.
I don't know that there's a best option. There's some concern. So we're looking for some easement. Meant that the other way. We're looking for easing of the lines with Gale Lane because it cuts in through things. I understand from utility component and for just planning and zoning, it can get messy if we start creating new utility lines. I get that, but I also think part of the problem we've had in this village with a lack of identifying and knowing where the lines are is because it was old infrastructure. I mean, Kyle, unless the digital records all burned down, I mean, we'll know where that utility easement is. It's not like some of our other files, but I think your concern and what Jeff has expressed is other utilities moving forward. We can't tell them they can't use that easement. But yeah.
I don't want to.
I was just gonna say, is it a hindrance to us at all, or?
no offense to the mains, but I'm kind of a hardliner on this. The utility easement's 5 feet on the property side and 5 feet on the village side. That's standard throughout the entire town. Is it a hindrance to us? It could potentially be, because now you're gonna have what's already existing there. You have ComEd, AT&T, Comcast. You create this new easement, you're gonna have MetroNet to start. And then you're gonna have the rest of them, because it's path of least resistance. So now you have 2 utility easements within a pretty confined area. There's no uniformity there.
Is there another utility already in there? Did I hear you say that?
Yeah, it's the,
So there is a plat of easement through that greenway for somebody else?
not through the greenway, no,
Oh,
Well, there's a cross.
through the backyard.
Yeah,
through the backyards.
there's a side easement that cuts through the greenway.
The greenway from Hilltop Court to Gale Lane, that is for the water main.
Right, no, it's not that one. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way.
Mhm.
It's,
There's another one that goes across it, you're saying? Not
yeah, I was
through-
just walking today because I saw the lines marked between the houses. So that property, it was. Megs, what? I don't want to say the addresses out.
Is it possible to get a survey for their
There need-
address to
There needs to
see?
be one if.
Right,
you're gonna-
that's what I'm asking, because I'm looking at this and I kind of need a plat survey to see how each of these options apply to their situation. I think it would be
Has Heinz-
beneficial for all of us to see that.
Has Heinz done that already?
No.
No,
No, yeah, I mean,
A- a
yeah, you
plat-
didn't,
we
right,
have-
you didn't want to incur the expense of it.
correct.
Gotcha.
We would want to do a survey of the property.
You could do a diagram to show the trustees where it is.
Oh, yeah, he's.
Yeah, if you go into the trustees room, you can get the plat of subdivisions on there, and it shows what the easements are in the backyards.
Where the easements are in the backyards, right?
Yeah. I don't know about the other one that's running through,
The
Uh,
new, yeah.
so
That,
because I've never
that's,
seen that one. But
You
then
you
again,
could do some sort of diagram short of the detail of a plat of survey, just to show the trustees this neighborhood.
because that would help me, because I'm kind of technically challenged when it comes to this.
I mean, yeah, we could draw something on the Google
Right,
Earth map.
because then that way I could compare, look at the plat survey and then also look at each of these options that were given to us yesterday or yesterday. So that we do the right thing by the residents, we don't run into any other issues. If another resident has an issue like this, I want to do the right thing by the Mangs and all the residents within Sleepy Hollow.
So I'm not saying at you, I'm just
No,
trying to
that's
think
okay.
with everything
Any
that's happening with,
action on this tonight,
actually, we do.
there's
This is the
no-
last stretch of Metro.
but it wouldn't be official till the next meeting anyway.
Right.
There's no resolution, there's no plat, there's nothing.
Yeah,
Just introduction to the topic that the board would be would consider creation of an additional easement.
and I can't give my opinion. Again, we got this yesterday. No, that's not, I'm not pointing fingers or anything. I'm just saying, we just got this yesterday. And then the issue came up this morning and I haven't had a chance to ask for a plan of survey, so I would like to see something. You know, in fairness to the Mangs, in fairness to, if it come to the board, because if it comes up for any other resident, we need to do the right.
So if we're gonna just be discussing this, I just looked into, typically, the field of the septic is about 3 feet deep. But MetroNet goes 18 inches.
They go 36 to 40 inches today.
Can they not just go below it or above it?
Yeah, go.
I don't want anybody going through my septic. I don't care if it's above the.
But it sounds like you don't really know where the septic field ends if I'm looking at this subdivision.
Well, none of it would be in the village greenway, the matter that's under discussion right now. That's village property, so no septic field should be in that area.
The septic field goes
It's a
back to the
different-
property line. I know that for a fact, because I know.
Well, that's a problem.
Well, I didn't
We'll have
put it
to
in.
talk about that, because that's a problem.
And that's my concern too, is they aren't the original owners of the home, so you kind of need to figure out where that septic field is in relation to what this is saying.
Get a survey done of
Get a
that.
survey done, you know, because they didn't put it in. They bought the house and it
Can't
was,
be on public ground, so we have to
right,
figure out
but-
how, what that situation is.
right, and that's why I'm saying I can't make a decision, an informed decision, because if there's an issue with where the septic field is and where the lot lines are like that, I can't,
Are you making a motion to table?
yes, I am making a motion to table
Actually,
this.
to postpone, I learned.
Postpone,
Is this the very last stretch of
It is,
fiber optic cable to be laid?
yes.
Are they planning on burying it behind Rhonda's house?
Yes, sorry, yes.
At what depth?
I think
36
plans
to
say 36 to 48 inches deep. They've not had any damage to landscaping in the, oh, I'm sorry, yes, some things have been trounced, but where it has been going under, which is part of the benefit, as I understand Kyle, with directional boring is because you go in from one side, you can go upwards from 100 to, if you're really good, I think up to 600 feet, but really they're working 100 to 300 feet. They go in at an angle, usually from the side easement, depending on the width of your property. There shouldn't, actually, I think most of them have gone side easement to side easement on a lot of places, and they can get it all the way across, and then it's underneath the main bed of your roots because it's 3 to 4 feet lower. And it's,
So they're gonna directional bore by Jethro Stevens' house? You know,
is that the one that's closer to the?
directly across from Stephen Pick.
Okay,
I don't know if they're laying the cable and then just throwing it down 18 inches, and then they're gonna go underneath Rhonda's house or
that
Han's
is,
house.
everything with the main lines is directional boring. And so that would be the 36 to 48 inches deep.
Uh,
Am I saying?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, okay. What's,
And then the offshoots are the 18-inch depth.
The services to the house, yes. Yeah.
and that, well, and then we learned since then, the services actually are, it's trench installation, so, but if you want it to be deeper, you down to 18 inches, you can, you need to speak to Metronet when you're setting up your service line. I learned that from a resident here.
So it's less than 18 if.
Yes,
Unless
it's
you
actually a
specify.
ground trench, but that's for the service lines, so, it's- yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we have a motion, I'm sorry, that got away from us. We have a motion to postpone. Do I have a second? I'm sorry. totally-
Second.
my other question, I'll wait.
Motion was just one conversation.
No discussion.
Uh,
Let me check that.
We're just checking out this question. It's been a night.
I just have a question.
We're taking a brief pause while we're looking this up, in case anybody.
It's undebatable, so.
I don't have a quorum to vote, sorry.
So I can ask a question or I can't?
Sure, yes, please.
My question is, will we make sure as that Metronet will not, as Colin and I ran into this morning, they will not go on their property until we straighten this all out?
Yes, I need to, well, I don't know if I have, I want to say yes.
Authority to do anything in this public property at this time.
Well, correct, but we know what happened this morning, so I just want to make sure, I know,
Miscommunication, yeah.
I know. I just want to make sure that there's nothing done.
Yes, sorry.
Thank you.
Normally we could proceed with a vote, but without Bill here, we don't have a quorum, so we can't. To be right there. So little civics lesson for you folks. Board of 6, we need 4.
Long meeting, small
Yes.
letters.
Well, we doubled up this
On a food truck.
time. Something not funny. Jeez.
Hey, Kyle, can I ask you a question?
That's a nice, pretty.
Can I ask you a question? I was looking at fire hydrants when I was coming back from the police place. There was the one in the park, so all nicely done and trimmed out or whatever. But there's one like in where the swamp area is, there, where all that high.
We're just waiting for you
If
to
you
come
were
back. so we
looking
can
real
vote.
close, you'd never see that fire hydrant. I mean, it's almost there.
Yeah, we haven't, we've put a side mower on.
All right, we're back. I have a motion on the floor to postpone until the next meeting, which is June 1st. Moved by Thomas, seconded by Kennelly. There is no discussion, so we'll move straight to all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. This will be postponed to the June 1st meeting. No work will be done until then. I will contact Metronet. Item 14. G, discussion of, can I have a motion to approve the creation of crew leader position in the Public Works Department at a starting pay rate of $31.25 an hour?
Second.
Moved by Kennelly, seconded by Diatley. Any comments, questions, discussion? Actually, Kyle, would you intro, please?
Sure, I want to create a crew leader position to create some uniformity in the department, especially when I'm gone on vacation or out sick or whatever. It's, you need to have a second in command, you need to have what they know they're responsible for, who to contact, who should contact them. It's much like the police department where they have a sergeant that covers the night shift when the chief's not around. It's the same kind of thing. It also creates a ladder of succession.
Thank you.
Well, you're not going anywhere, so you can forget about that.
Yeah,
And I don't know.
I didn't want to say that first.
I just added, he's a 6.5-year employee.
Oh, we're not to the individuals, we're just on the position.
We create the,
I
yeah,
thought we were in discussion.
for the
Just for the
position.
position, not for,
Just item G.
not for recommending, that'll be an exec session. This is just to create, have the authority to create a position called crew leader at a pay raise. Any? Any comments, questions, discussion? Oh, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Thomas,
Aye.
trustee Hoff,
Aye.
trustee Kennelly,
Aye.
trustee Diatley.
Alright,
All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Thank you. We're holding items H and I until after executive session. Let's go ahead and move on to item J. Pete Vernon, you requested to be on the agenda so that you could address your concern for requesting a motion to rescind the appointment of the village administrator as assistant building official.
Thank you.
John, would you, I mean, I don't think you'll go the whole time, but it's 15 minutes for the agenda item. Thank you.
You ready? I don't think I'm gonna need a whole 15, but never know.
We appreciate that.
Well, I know you do.
Before I kick off, let me ask a quick question here. 13A. Discussion and motion to approve the IGA. New hearing aids. I'm still adjusting them. Was there a vote?
Yes.
Yes, yeah,
There was.
resolution 2026
Thank you.
-2.
Once I had my head down, I didn't hear it. I heard the discussion going on, but that was just part of the plan. Thank you very much. Okay, so. My issue was, I had mentioned this in an earlier meeting. I didn't think it was appropriate to put the responsibility on Mr. Van to be the interim building official. I understand the concern with. There are times you need to have someone do stop work. So part of that is collectively being more educated in what we do as an assembly. And I went through the ordinances, powers and duties, of various and sundry officials. And credit to President Bo, who went out to the mains today and did a stop work when they were doing it wrong. Right there, powers and duties number 1, under the president. Right, and when you slide down a little further to additional powers, in addition to the above, president shall perform all other such duties and have all additional powers that are or may be prescribed by the laws of the state or the ordinances of the village. Well, in our ordinances, if they're doing it wrong, you pull the plug. She went out and did it. The trustees. Individually, so there's 6 of us, you, pardon me. I'm not running, ain't gonna. Item 6, all members of the board of trustees shall be conservators of the peace and shall have such powers and authority as provided by statute. According to the Attorney General's office, the conservator of the peace is an official designation for individuals with legal authority to maintain public order, prevent law violations, and make arrests. Obviously, you're not going to arrest someone for digging in the wrong place and tearing up their septic field, but in a pinch, you could pull the plug on them, the way I'm reading that. It says the elected officials possess those powers: mayors, village presidents, aldermen, and trustees in municipalities. We will have a building code official, and it's clearly spelled out there that they will, one of their duties and responsibilities is to stop by written stop or cease and desist order work being done contrary to village building codes and or any permit. Well, we have one other ace in the hole that we seem to have forgotten about. Back in 2017, we created the office of Code Enforcement Officer, and we still have one. And from my recollection, he was doing some darn good job. But in his duties, it says, shall be the duty of the code enforcement officer to enforce the following provisions of the code. Number 1, Village Building Code, Title 7. Covers a pretty broad range, building, mechanical, electrical. If you're out there doing it, he's not just there to watch the grass grow and tell you to get it cut. Also zoning violations would be under his authority to act on. If there's a complaint, we can go act on it. When I look at the administrator's role, I see specifically is to provide for the enforcement of all laws and ordinances. Didn't say go enforce it, said provide for it. So call the guy who should be doing it if it comes to him. Not, it shouldn't be on him to go chase it down. There's also the question of liability. You want someone who's trained, experienced in dealing with those things. Well, has read through the code and elect accordingly, because there is potential liability. Yes, the state provides indemnification for building officials, public officials acting in good conscience. However, that doesn't mean that you can act outside of your area of expertise. And I believe I passed on to the trustees, effective January 1 of 27, anyone doing inspections or plan reviews is required to be certified or be an Illinois licensed design professional. registered architect, professional engineer, structural engineer, or BICC certified. For building, mechanical, electrical, fire, you name it. I look in the code itself, that the adopted code laying out the duties, powers. Now, there's also in the back of the book, various appendices. And they make these, unless you adopt it, it isn't part of the code. However, it's not a bad guide in any case. It says the building official shall not have fewer than 10 years experience or equivalent as an architect, engineer, inspector, contractor, or superintendent of construction, or any combination of these, 5 of which shall have been supervisory. Should be certified as a building official through a recognized program. And he gets appointed, Again, this is not trying to be a criticism. I just say, you've got a full plate as a finance director, and he's trying to administer day-to-day operations. You say, hey, I need you to go out here. Wait a minute, line out. Not really a reasonable expectation. I'm pleased to see that you know, and I hope that it's going to come to fruition as far as bringing Carpentersville in as a bridge service. All right. I did notice in the contract with Carpentersville, any subject services requested by Sleepy Hollow and provided by Carpentersville, which are not specified in the fee schedule. The parties in order of priority may agree to the price of any additional services, or by default, the cost will be $75 an hour of service provided. So there is a built-in fallback there. Again, in a pinch, you got something. That's pretty much what I got. Oh, let me just real quick reply on
That's not on the agenda right now. Thank you. Your time.
Not gonna
No, stay on topic, please.
I got 6 minutes.
You have to stay on topic with
I'm
the
staying on topic.
for the agenda that you set about
Yes,
the village administrator, the building official.
yes,
Okay.
because we're talking about an application, and dealing with an application, one of the duties. Yes. All right. When you take an application, you have to understand. Yes, you may have to receive it. But the understanding is if you can't act on it, that must be stated as well. If you don't have a provision for it, you can't act on it. And right now, there's not a way to do it in that particular application. You don't have a provision in the code, so you can't act on it. If you're trying to act on it.
That doesn't apply to rescinding the previous appointment of the village.
Now, to rescind, I am making that recommendation. I'm asking the board to rescind that action.
Correct. But
Because
that
it
has nothing to do with
exposes.
the application that's on file. That was.
It does when he's the one that had to receive it.
No, the village received it.
Who received it for the village?
I assume the village clerk, she receives everything. She's the record keeper.
That's an assumption.
That is, but you're going beyond your agenda item. Thank you.
But now we've covered the bases. And it was part.
I'm sorry.
We would agree to disagree. That was part of the discussion.
Thank you. All right, can I have a motion to move to executive session for personnel, section 2C1, public official 2C3.
What
And-
about those other two items?
Oh, it's the added stuff? Okay,
Yes,
No, I would do something.
there was 2 items that I wanted.
Right, I just added them to the list, so I was okay. Okay, no motion for executive session. We'll go to the added discussion stuff. You, all right, so item, we'll call it 14. Oh. Status of the wastewater meter to be installed on. Well, it's not on a well, it's for homes without water connections.
Correct.
Last I knew, we had one outstanding. Eugene, do you know off the top of your head if they've completed that?
No, we have not.
Okay. They have, no, you don't know, or no, they have not.
Well, we still have one that's, are you talking about flat rate?
Yeah, the wastewater meter.
Yeah, we still have one that is a flat rate.
And then. Status of the mixed use, so that's gonna be item M. Status of mixed use change. Oh, from resident to mixed, oh, for the golf property. Yes. Last we were able to speak with them was back in September. We have not been able to follow up with them and figuring out how to proceed with conformance and non-conformance. And I'm honestly hoping that once MetroNet's done, we will have some move forward with it, but. Yeah, we have not, we don't have anything moving forward at this time.
Okay, can we, I'm just asking if we can make it a priority, as one of our priorities or your priority. And Attorney Schuster's, because Furlough is in need of this signage ordinance. To get they're getting pushback from corporate, Mark, to put their signage because they're on a residential. Yeah.
Or something.
Right, and it's getting worse, so I just wanna see if we can figure this out.
Alright, thank you.
And what was the outcome of the meter thing?
We
Because
still need one. There's one outstanding.
one outs, like.
One house.
We're not in compliance. I don't think that's what you were talking about.
That's the question.
The status of the
Talking
meter.
about how to affect the billing on somebody who is on well and on sewer, that we put a meter on his well water, and then they fill their pool. Oh, and we had made concessions with those holdouts before, that we would work with them to have an equitable solution. And the discussion that I had today with Wendy was, and I tried to get a hold of you, Eugene, but you weren't available at that time, is that we would, I'm throwing this out for discussion.
That's why I
Take a
want,
6-month average water meter reading of the person on well, come up with a monthly average. They tell us, the village, I'm filling my pool or topping my pool up on June 15th. We take note of that. We look at the usage for June. And then cut them back to whatever 6-month average was. We would do that as well for people that are on.
There's actually an easier way of doing it.
Okay,
We got a data meter and you can read it and we can tell exactly how much was done from a period of time.
The way I would propose it is they call us, let us know, I'm gonna fill my pool. Topping off, we should not accommodate for topping off the pool. If they're doing a full pool fill, sure. You can see it on the usage, it'll spike, it'll go 10,000 gallons to 15,000 gallons to, I don't know how big pools are. But if they don't call and notify us, then we know, okay, this month they used 20,000 gallons to fill their pool. Topping off, that's too broad. Because usually you're talking.
nobody's
about
draining the
evaporation.
pool to zero, from
Yeah.
what I understood.
So let's, excuse me, this needs to be discussed with staff and trustees, so. Yes, I think it's certainly something to look up, but if you guys could talk with Kyle and with Eugene. And then clear is something you guys are working on, why don't we discuss it and then it can be brought to the board as an action, or you can bring it up in your reports, but.
it's been discussed at prior meetings, but what I'm understanding is that no one ever got back to them with a solution. So I'm just trying to see if we can.
So was there a solution that was voted
Come up
on?
with one?
Well, there was,
No.
that's what I'm saying, it was discussed. I thought it was discussed and there's some sort of, my understanding was there was gonna be potentially a meter that you talked about. And that would happened, but nothing ever happened with it. So I'm just trying to find out what are the next steps to help these people that are on wells fill their pools, because it's coming.
What we need to do is, if we're gonna do that, we have to be fair. And then
Right.
those people who are on water and sewer would also have that same benefit.
Right, and I agree with that, but I just think we need to come to a solution for everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, for everybody.
So basically what the policy is in the community I live in, is that if you got a building permit for your pool, then what happens is you can fill your pool and they'll give you a credit on your sewer portion of your bill for the usage. You know, again, they can meter it on that day or whatever that you fill it out. So, that's probably more difficult, but you know, what we can do is just do a reading on it. And
We can do 90 days, I can data log, it's 90 days of usage by the hour, and
Okay,
you'll know.
I,
And they would just have to tell us, you know, when they started filling and when they ended filling.
okay, so that, I just wanted some sort of
Yeah.
what we can tell the residents who are asking about this. They need to call.
So
You
what we
or
have to,
Kyle?
no, what we then have to do is we have to create an ordinance that allows
Yeah.
us to do this.
Okay,
And you have to
Because
specify, Bill mentioned topping off, I think it should be a one-time.
It's
Bill for the
gotta be a
year.
one-time thing, because at what point do you cut it off? And, you know, we're topping it off every day. And,
and I get what you're saying, so
Yeah.
do you think we can get an ordinance created? So we can vote on it by June 1st?
Once I know the policy, we'll have an ordinance.
Because these people want to build their pools, and that's why I'm asking, where it's summertime.
We do
so-
have a pool filling ordinance,
Yeah.
but we would have to make amendments to that.
Okay,
We do have.
There's a pool fill ordinance, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So if there's any changes, let me know. We'll be ready to present that on June 1 at the board meeting.
okay, so
So have a
can I
discussion.
look at it with you or with you?
I'll send it over to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I just wanted to be said that we were gonna work with these residents, and it was a little bit of a sale job or a communication to them that we would work with them to administer this. And we're not gonna wanna incur any additional cost for the resident. So,
But like we
I
talked
just-
about today,
I
the
just need to
person we
make that
talked about
clear.
saving $40 a month by switching from flat rate
Well,
to meter.
it
Guys, I
It
think the
took, it
discussion.
took us 5 seconds to figure out 5 months worth of usage and come up with an average.
So you guys are gonna come up with a draft of amendments to the ordinance and get those over to attorney, actually get them over to Administrator Van. Then we'll move it over to legal. So we can aim to get it on for June 1st, but honestly, we can, there's a lot.
Yeah, come up with a recommendation.
So can I have a motion to move to executive session for section 2 exemption, section 2C1 for personnel, section 2C3 public official, or is it 2C5?
So moved, yeah, like,
Second,
Moved by Diatley, seconded by Thomas. Roll call vote. Trustee Hawk,
Hi.
trustee Connelly.
Hi.
Trustee Diatley,
Hi.
trustee Thomas.
aye.
All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Folks, we're gonna move to executive session. We will go into the conference room, but I imagine you probably want to speak to this, so it will be. We will be coming back, but there will be the YouTube. To see the results of the vote.
no, so.
If we have questions, we can send an email.
What's your name? Tim?
Kathy Morse.
Yes, I got it.
I finally.
That's all just curious.
You know, like, you
Yeah.
Or you just give them a call.
Yeah. Especially if no one on it.
If I wanted to give a donation, I could maybe give them more.
Yeah.
I got 5 free donuts, so.
Yeah, you can just, if you don't wanna make a special trip in the area, just.
Whenever stuff happens,
We sell for something. What's your numbers? Yeah, it's good for everybody.
Yes.
We're talking about 3 cool.
Yep.
Are they only, probably not. Tell item that. Never ever.
That was one of our shorter.
I know that.
Don't break the village tradition.
I don't want to end this trip.
All right, can you call in this meeting back?
So there are folks outside, or is it everybody?
I see headlights out there, Hans.
I think they all left.
Sorry, are we all
Invite you
done?
Back in.
Yeah, hold on.
Then I'll call them.
You're on, and they can hear you.
Okay, we're calling this meeting back to order at 10:16. We're returning from executive session. Roll call, please. Trustee Thomas?
Here.
Trustee Diatley?
Here.
Trustee Canali?
Here.
Trustee Hawk?
Here.
Excellent. We didn't lose anybody in the walkover. So we're moving on to item 14H. Can I have a motion to approve Director Killinger to promote Dylan Anderson to the previously established crew leader position at a pay rate of $31.25 an hour?
Second.
Moved by Canali, seconded by Thomas. Roll call vote, please. Trustee Diatley?
Aye.
Trustee Hoff?
Aye.
Trustee Canali?
Aye.
Trustee Thomas?
Aye.
All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Then item 14I, appointment discussion and motion to amend or approve the HLR contract.
I would like to postpone that.
I'd like to move.
Move.
To postpone to the June 1, 2026 meeting. Please.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas would like to move to postpone to July or June 1st, 2026 meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved by Thomas, seconded by Diatley. Roll call vote, please. Trustee Canali?
Aye.
Trustee Hoff?
Aye.
Trustee Thomas?
Aye.
Trustee Diatley?
Aye.
All in favor, no opposed, motion passes.
Adjourn.
Motion to
Make a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Everybody had moved, Diatley moved to adjourn. Second from Thomas. Second from Canali. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We are adjourned at 10:17.
All right.
I got my phone.
Next meeting, we're bringing pizza in.